Remember what it was like to be a child? Every moment playing was exhilarating. We'd let our imaginations run wild and give ourselves over to every thrill. It's interesting to consider how play shaped our lives. For most, our primary goal in life, above all else, was to play as much as possible. We immersed ourselves in it. But as time goes by, work in a fast-paced world starts to shape our lives instead. For most, our core focus in life is now on our jobs, and we immerse ourselves in that instead, leaving playing to the children. I'd like to delve into the significance that play has had in our lives and how it can still be relevant and valuable in our lives as adults today. It's been said that the wise person is the one who finds what they lost in childhood and regains it. It's interesting, play seems to be one of those things that we can very easily associate with children. When it comes to adults, playing almost comes across as immature, like we are avoiding responsibilities, like it's something that we need to grow up from. But I mean, what does it even mean to grow up? My concern is that in us growing up, we lose touch with those very things that make life worth living, those positive emotions that just exude from a place of complete childlikeness. But immersing yourself in play is not just about enjoyment and pleasure. It's a key to the soul. A large part of developing an intentional life requires us to search ourselves. And that doesn't only come from sitting with your thoughts and theorizing. It asks of us to expose ourselves to new experiences and old experiences. While productivity circles often talk about deep work, we should accompany this with what's known as deep play. Diane Ackerman is a poetry and non-fiction writer who just received a Stephen Hawking Medal. This sealed her position beside people like Hans Zimmer, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Elon Musk, Buzz Aldrin. In 1999, she released a book called Deep Play, which is a type of play that is immersive and fully engaged in, often to the point of losing track of time and forgetting entirely about the world around you. Ackerman argues that play is not just a leisurely activity, but a necessary component for human flourishing. It can foster creativity and innovation, boost our personal growth and development, and help reduce stress and improve our overall mental health and well-being. I've found several ways to reap these benefits. First off, you need to start with prioritizing yourself. You may have heard the story about a philosophy professor's jar. In the anecdote, there is a large jar, some rocks, some pebbles, and some sand. With the goal of fitting everything in the jar, if you start with the sand, then add the pebbles, there is no room left for all the rocks. On the other hand, if you reverse the order and start with the rocks, then add the pebbles, they fill up the space around the rocks. Then add the sand, and it fills the spaces between the rocks and pebbles. The jar represents your life. The rocks represent the most important things in your life, like family, health, your relationships, for example. The pebbles represent other things that matter, such as work, school, and other responsibilities. And the sand represents everything else. These things don't mean much to your life as a whole, but are likely to be done only to pass time and get small tasks accomplished. While the analogy may not be perfect, the main takeaway here is that if you spend all of your time on all the small and insignificant things, you may never have the time you need for the things that give life meaning. So in order to move from existing to actually living, you should prioritize the important things in your life. The rest is just pebbles and sand. Play is crucial for a meaningful life. One of the best ways we can make sure to integrate it into our life is to allocate dedicated time to engage in it. My wife and I have a fixed date night each week. where we have to completely disconnect from anything work and play. We will either go bowling or go to a jazz lounge. Even if we have like a restaurant reservation of some kind, we'll find ourselves playing cards at the table while we wait before we eat. Next up, what is needed is to eliminate distractions. When our focus is divided, we can't enter a point of deep play. We'll just end up hindering our ability to remain focused at the task at hand. We won't be able to fully engage. When we allow ourselves to be absorbed in an activity, we more easily can find ourselves in a state of flow, where we can just be fully immersed in the activity and enjoy it to its depths. So remove any distractions from your environment. Set boundaries with people by letting them know when you're unavailable. And eat something so that your body doesn't distract you either. The last thing we can do is discover. The most important aspect of deep play is that it's fun. So it's important to find activities that you enjoy. That's the beauty of play. It gives us the opportunity to discover and rediscover who we are in the season that we're in right now. So spend some time experimenting with different hobbies and activities to find out and discover what play looks like for you. If we're honest, there's a secret longing in us to lose ourselves. There's a call to embrace that wildness within us and give our inner child permission to take the reins and spark what can only be ignited through deep play. If you found value, give this video a high five or a hug if you're more affectionate. I'm always happy to give one back. Subscribe if you want to be a day one. If you want to be notified, hit the bell. Until next time, be well.